Good day, everyone. We are here to report about Section 4, Charging for Civil Engineering Services. Here, we will discuss the fees, salaries, bonuses that can be accepted or get by civil engineers. Charging for engineering services are usually computed by one of six methods. One, salary cost times multiplier plus direct non-salary expense or reimbursable. Two, hourly billing rates plus reimbursable. Three, per diem. Four, cost plus fixed fee. Five, fixed price. Six, percentage of construction costs. Salary cost times multiplier plus direct non-salary expense. Compensation on basis of the salary cost times an agreed multiplier is a frequently used method of determining charges for engineering services. May be utilized as either multiplier times salary cost or a multiplier times direct salary cost. The direct salary times multiplier is very similar to the salary cost times multiplier, with the exception that it applies a single multiplier to unburdened direct labor costs, direct salaries without employee benefits. Yung salary cost times multiplier plus direct na salary expense, ito yung pinaka-frequently used na method na ginagamit para makuha yung or ma-determine yung charge for engineering services. Normally, pinag-uusapan to ng civil engineer and yung company kung saan niya i-render yung service niya. Next. The following factors are pertinent to the salary cost times multiplier. 1. The salary cost. 2. Multiplier. 3. Direct non-salary expenses. Salary cost defined as the direct salary plus the employee benefits. 2. Multiplier. Multiplier which is applied to salary cost is a factor that compensates the civil engineer for overhead plus a reasonable margin for contingencies, interest, or invested capital readiness to serve and profit. Yung average na multiplier should be between 2.5 and 3. At yung multiplier, ito yung factor na multiply sa average salary cost. 3. Direct non-salary expense usually include engineering engagements may include the following. Sa direct non-salary expenses, halimbawa, yung engineer is magkakaroon ng seminars or training sa ibang bansa at pinadala siya doon ng company. Kapag nandoon siya sa ibang bansa, yung mga expenses niya, like travel, yung gastos niya sa araw-araw, magiging sagot yun ng company. Yung halimbawa ng mga direct non-salary expenses, living and traveling expenses, and the identifiable communication expenses like yung sa internet or kung may load man na may mag-load man yung employee or yung engineer. Expenses for services and equipment. The identifiable supplies like halimbawa may mga supplies siya na kailangan like mga office supplies. Next. Expenses for unusual insurance and specialized health and safety programs and for special clothing for projects with extraordinary risks such as toxic and hazardous waste conditions. For civil engineers overhead, which comprises a major portion of compensation generated by the multiplier salary costs, includes the following indirect costs. So, yung civil engineers overhead, ito naman yung mga overhead costs sa mga non-directly engineering services. Yung mga indirect costs is yung provisions for office expenses, taxes and insurance, library and periodical expenses and other costs, executive, administrative, accounting, legal, stenographic, and clerical salaries and expenses, business development expenses, provision for loss of productive time of technical employees, and cost of acquiring and maintaining computers. So dito sa overhead, example yung civil engineers is na-employ siya sa may field testing laboratory. Meron siya mga expenses, halimbawa office expenses na isasama niya sa invoice, na ibibil niya doon sa client na nag-render ng service niya. Next. Next, accounting records. The civil engineers who perform services under a salary cost times multiplier agreement or other cost-based agreement must provide the accounting necessary to aggregate and record the appropriate expenditures. So yung civil engineer is required na mag-provide ng accounting records para makita at malaman niya yung tamang paggastos ng budget or ng pera na gagawin sa isang project or dun sa services niya.
Hourly billing rate is very similar to the salary cost times multiplier method in that the hourly billing rate includes all direct personnel expense, overhead, and profit. Direct non-salary expenses are separate item for reimbursement, usually with a service charge. Our, our billing rate, yung base na charge ng company per working hours na provide nila. Kasama daw yung expense, overhead, tsaka profit. Tapos, yun yung pinaka pagbabawasan nila ng taxes, mga fees. Tapos yun na yung makukuha mismo nung engineer na makukuha na doon yung basic na salary nung engineer. O kaya nung company na nag-serve. Next. Per diem. Per diem normally refers to an 8-hour day. Direct personal services are frequently charged on a per diem basis. Per diem rates can vary widely depending on employee classification, regional location, and period of service. Fixed per diem rates eliminate the need for employees to prepare and employers to scrutinize a detailed expense report. Balit pang pinapasimple nung per diem yung pagkwenta nung mga salary at saka yung cost nung by mini-measure na lang per araw. Kasama na dun yung lahat ng expenses na magagamit niya nung buong time na hinire siya. Kunwari, yung nag-travel sa ibang lugar para dun sa business ng employer.
Cost plus fixed fee. Under a cost plus fixed fee agreement, the civil engineer is reimbursed for the actual cost of all services and supplies related to the project, including salary cost, overhead, direct non-salary expenses, and fixed fee. Dito sa cost plus fixed fee agreement, naka-detail dito yung scope at type of service to be performed by the engineer. Tapos covered na lahat ng worker salaries, supplies, basta yung total project cost. Then meron pang fixed na bayad para sa services na engineer. Kahit mabawasan or madagdagan yung budget ng project, fixed pa rin yung incentive na engineer. Next. Fixed price. The fixed price can be calculated as the sum total of estimated engineering costs for salaries, overhead, and non-salary expenses. An allowance for contingencies, interest on invested capital, readiness to serve, and reasonable amount for profit. Fixed price compensation for basic services on certain design type projects can also be computed as an appropriate percentage of estimated construction cost. Sa fixed price, fixed na yung bayad sa isang service, including all project costs and profit ng engineer. It won't change unless na magkasundo na magbawas ng gawain and magbawas din ng bayad or magdagdag ng gawain, then magdagdag din ng bayad. Next.
Percentage of construction cost. The percentage of construction cost method may be used to determine the compensation of the engineer for services where the principal responsibility is the detailed design or construction supervision of facilities to be constructed. Construction cost is defined as the estimated total cost of constructing the facility to be covered by the proposed detailed design or construction supervision services, excluding the fees and other costs of such services. The cost of land and right-of-way and legal and administrative expenses. The percentage for shall consider the type, complexity, location, and magnitude of construction cost of the project and shall not exceed the following percentage of estimated construction cost. Feasibility studies, 3%. Detailed engineering design, 6%. Detailed architectural and engineering design, 8%. And construction supervision is 10%. Yung percentage of construction cost method ay madalas na naiiba or na-adjust dahil sa dami ng trabaho bawat project. Ang dapat gamitin naman ng owner para sa paggawa ng budget para sa construction cost, right-of-way, legal, administrative, engineering services, and permits ay yung experienced in-house staff or retained consultants. Sa method na to, madedetermine ang pag-compensate ng engineer para sa services at supervision ng project. Yung construction cost ay yung estimated na total cost sa paggawa ng structure. Hindi kasama dito yung cost of services, cost of land, right-of-way, legal and administrative expenses. Ang validity naman ng percentage of construction cost ay nakabase sa detailed design assumption, construction supervision cost, at cost of construction na may pagkakaiba naman sa proportion nito. Yung method na to ay pwedeng maging guide para sa consulting services. Yung percentage fee naman ay dapat i-consider yung type, location, complexity at magnitude ng construction cost. Tapos di siya dapat lumagpas yung mga percentage sa mga nakatalagang percentage na nakalagay sa screen. First is yung feasibility studies, detailed engineering design, detailed architectural design, and construction supervision. And schedule of minimum basic fees. Certain principles should be observing as follows. 1. When doing work on foreign assisted projects in projects where international consultants participate, the civil engineer performing similar or equivalent work should accept compensation that approximates the international standard rates. So ayun, sa mga foreign assisted projects, yung civil engineer ay dapat tumanggap ng compensation na nakaayon sa international standard rates. Second is civil engineers regularly employed in the private sector shall have a minimum compensation corresponding to 10% more than the minimum wage prevailing in the region as basic monthly salary. Civil engineers employed in the government sector shall have a minimum basic monthly salary corresponding to appropriate entry positions provided by the Civil Service Commission. And second is, yung mga civil engineer naman na employed sa private sector ay dapat sumahod ng minimum basic monthly salary na nakaayon or nakatalaga sa lugar or region ng kumpanya. At yung mga employed naman sa government sector ay dapat sumahod based sa entry position na pinrovide ng Civil Service Commission. And lastly, a civil engineer employed in the private sector who signs and seals the civil engineering plans, specifications, and other related documents of a certain project for and in behalf of his employers shall be compensated with a minimum of 10% of the professional fee for the project, over and above the basic monthly salary. Yung mga civil engineer naman sa private sector na pumipirma sa mga engineering plan at iba pang dokumento ay dapat sumahod ng basic monthly salary na may kasamang minimum na 10% ng professional fee sa project nila. That's all. Thank you.